Hello everyone, and welcome back to TechBlog 66. Today's video is about an intriguing psychological thriller that blends science, mystery, and human emotion into a compelling story. The movie we're discussing today is Prodigy, 2017. If you enjoy films that explore the human mind, intelligence, and the thin line between genius and danger, then this movie might catch your attention. So grab your favorite snack, sit back, and let's dive into this fascinating film. First, let's start with a quick introduction to the movie. Prodigy, released in 2017, is a psychological science fiction thriller directed by Alex Haughey and Brian Vidal. The film centers on a young girl with extraordinary intelligence and mysterious abilities. But instead of presenting intelligence as something purely positive, the film explores how overwhelming power of the mind can become frightening and unpredictable. The story focuses on a young girl named Ellie, who is considered a prodigy because of her exceptional intellectual abilities. From an early age, Ellie demonstrates intelligence far beyond that of a normal child. She can solve complex problems, learn information incredibly quickly, and think in ways that surprise even the most experienced scientists. However, Ellie's intelligence is not the only thing that makes her unusual. As the story unfolds, it becomes clear that Ellie may also possess dangerous mental powers. She seems capable of manipulating situations and influencing people in unsettling ways. Because of these abilities, she becomes the subject of intense study by specialists who want to understand her mind. One of the central characters in the film is Dr. James Fonda, a psychologist assigned to evaluate Ellie. Dr. Fonda is intelligent and experienced, but he soon realizes that studying Ellie is unlike anything he has ever encountered before. The interactions between Ellie and Dr. Fonda form the core of the film. Most of the movie takes place during a psychological evaluation session. At first glance, this might sound simple, but the filmmakers use this setting to create an intense and suspenseful atmosphere. Much of the tension comes from dialogue, mind games, and the shifting psychological battle between Ellie and the doctor. Dr. Fonda tries to understand Ellie's thoughts and motivations. He asks questions, runs tests, and carefully observes her behavior. But Ellie often responds in ways that seem calculated and mysterious. At times, she appears innocent and calm. At other times, she says things that make the doctor deeply uncomfortable. This dynamic creates a constant sense of uncertainty. Is Ellie simply a misunderstood child with extraordinary intelligence? Or is there something much more dangerous happening beneath the surface? The movie slowly reveals hints about Ellie's past and the events that led to her current situation. Through conversations and subtle clues, viewers begin to piece together the truth about her abilities. One of the strengths of Prodigy is its focus on psychological tension rather than action. The film doesn't rely heavily on special effects or large-scale action scenes. Instead, it keeps viewers engaged through suspenseful dialogue and the evolving relationship between the two main characters. The performances in the film also play a big role in making the story effective. The young actress who plays Ellie delivers a surprisingly strong performance. Portraying a character who is both brilliant and emotionally complex is not an easy task, especially for a young actor. Yet Ellie's character feels convincing, intelligent, and sometimes even unsettling. Her calm expressions and confident responses give the impression that she is always thinking several steps ahead. At times, it almost feels as if she is the one studying the doctor instead of the other way around. The actor portraying Dr. Fonda also brings depth to the role. As the film progresses, we see his emotions shift from curiosity to concern, and eventually to fear. He begins the evaluation believing he is in control of the situation. But as Ellie reveals more about her abilities, he realizes that he might be facing something far beyond his understanding. This psychological tug-of-war becomes the driving force of the movie. Another interesting aspect of the film is its exploration of intelligence and morality. The movie raises questions about what happens when someone possesses intelligence that surpasses normal human limits. Does extraordinary intelligence automatically lead to wisdom? Or can it create isolation and misunderstanding? Ellie's character represents both possibilities. On one hand, she is a remarkable example of human potential. Her intelligence allows her to process information and solve problems at an incredible level. On the other hand, her abilities create fear and mistrust among the people around her. The film also touches on themes of control and responsibility. If someone has the power to influence others or manipulate situations mentally, how should that power be managed? Who has the right to study or control such an individual? These questions add depth to the story and make the movie more thought-provoking. Visually, Prodigy keeps things simple but effective. Since much of the story takes place in a controlled environment, the filmmakers rely on lighting, camera angles, and pacing to build tension. Close-up shots during conversations help highlight the emotional shifts between characters. The soundtrack also contributes to the atmosphere. Instead of being overly dramatic, the music is subtle and suspenseful, supporting the psychological tone of the film. The pacing of the movie is another notable element. Rather than rushing through events, the story unfolds gradually. Each conversation reveals a little more information, encouraging viewers to stay engaged and try to understand what is really happening. For audiences who enjoy fast-paced action films, this slower style might feel unusual. But for viewers who appreciate psychological storytelling, the pacing works well. One of the most interesting parts of Prodigy is how it plays with expectations. Early in the film, viewers might assume they understand Ellie's situation. But as the dialogue continues, new details begin to challenge those assumptions. The film invites viewers to question what they believe about the characters and their motivations. This type of storytelling makes the movie feel like a puzzle. Instead of simply watching events unfold, the audience becomes part of the process of figuring out the truth. Of course, like many independent films, Prodigy has both strengths and limitations. On the positive side, the film's concept is original and thought-provoking. The focus on psychological interaction creates an intimate and suspenseful experience. The performances, particularly from the young actress playing Ellie, are impressive and help carry the story. However, some viewers might wish for a slightly larger scale or more background information about the events surrounding Ellie's abilities. Because the movie concentrates heavily on the evaluation session, certain aspects of the story remain mysterious. But in many ways, that mystery is also part of the film's appeal. By leaving some questions unanswered, the movie encourages viewers to continue thinking about the story even after it ends. Another reason this movie stands out is its exploration of childhood intelligence. In real life, prodigies often face unique challenges. Their abilities can create expectations, pressure, and sometimes isolation from their peers. Prodigy takes this idea to an extreme level and imagines what might happen if a child's intelligence reached a level that people could barely comprehend. The result is both fascinating and unsettling. Without giving away any major spoilers, the film gradually builds toward a conclusion that forces the characters to confront the reality of Ellie's abilities. The final moments of the story bring together the psychological tension that has been building throughout the film. It's the kind of ending that makes viewers pause and reflect on everything they've seen. For fans of psychological thrillers, Prodigy offers a unique experience. It focuses more on ideas and character interaction than on spectacle. The story challenges viewers to think about intelligence, control, and the mysteries of the human mind. If you enjoy movies that explore psychological concepts and keep you guessing, this film may be worth adding to your watch list. It's also a great example of how independent films can create powerful stories with limited settings and small casts. By focusing on strong performances and meaningful dialogue, the filmmakers manage to build suspense without relying on large budgets. And that's something many movie lovers can appreciate. Before we wrap up today's review, let's summarize the key points. Prodigy, 2017, is a psychological science fiction thriller that explores the mind of a child with extraordinary intelligence and mysterious abilities. The film centers on the tense interactions between Ellie and the psychologist assigned to study her. Through dialogue-driven storytelling, the movie builds suspense and raises thought-provoking questions about intelligence, morality, and human potential. The film stands out for its strong performances, especially from the young actress playing Ellie, and its focus on psychological tension rather than action. While the story takes place mostly in a single setting, the engaging dialogue and intriguing concept keep viewers interested throughout the film. If you enjoy movies that challenge your thinking and explore the darker side of human potential, Prodigy is definitely an interesting film to check out. And that brings us to the end of today's video. If you enjoyed this review, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to TechBlog 66, and share your thoughts in the comments. Have you seen Prodigy, 2017? What did you think about the story and its psychological themes? I'd love to hear your opinions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next movie review. This movie is available on YouTube free.